I have tea, by the way. Earl Grey.
Rolling Stone! Rolling
Hey. Hi. It's me. We're gonna do Worm today, okay? Hi. How's it going? First of all, happy Worm Wednesday. We're an hour late, but that's fine. I think that's fine. I'm sorry. I had stuff to do. I had to go do stuff. Hope everyone's doing good. It seems my bitrate has just dropped horrendously. Shit. 1 hour late, now you're going in the worm box? Hell yeah. Get in, dumbass. Get in.
Get in now. Yeah.
So, hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone enjoyed. Yeah, happy Worms Day. Happy Worms Day. It's Worms Day. Okay? So today we're gonna do Arc 4, which I think everyone is excited about. Is everyone excited for Arc 4? Did you guys like Arc 4? What was your thoughts? Arc 4 titled Shell. Very good, very good. I think this is one of the best arcs. I've said this earlier too. Before we get started with Worm, I want to make a couple quick announcements. My first announcement is I'm having a new emote made. It's going to be my newest emote, because now I have an extra slot, thanks to some gracious people who have gifted subs. So now, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of that emote, here. There you go. I'll let that sink in. That's, you know, work in progress, work in progress. But it's getting there, it's getting there. Not colored yet, either. So, cope. So yeah. That's just how it's gonna be for now. I'll let you know when that happens. So, you know. That's a new emote. Second of all, we're going to be having a funny thing soon. On Saturday, that is going to be a, that's going to be a fishing stream as always. However, I do have something special planned. I can't elaborate much, but I would keep an eye on... No. That was the middle of it. that is in the emote. It's just not colored yet. So, you know, you can guess all you want, but that's what it was. I would keep an eye on Friday. Keep an eye on Friday. There's a little thing happening soon. I'm going to be on someone else's stream on Friday. I'll let you know when that happens. Saturday is just going to be a normal fishing stream as always. And if I'm not mistaken, Saturday will be one of the last fishing streams on that server. And then on the 31st, the next Tuesday, I believe? The next Tuesday, we're going to be doing a deep dive and streaming the end of my fishing stream server. On Sunday, that's going to be a awesome stream. I'm going to be streaming with someone else. We are going to be doing... Actually, you know what? I'll keep it a surprise. I'll let you guys know over the weekend, or as soon as possible. I will let you know that end of the world, yeah. So it's all, you know, it's going basically. I got a lot of stuff in the works. I got a lot of irons in the fire. My final thing I want to say is my schedule. I do have a schedule in my Discord. And that schedule is going to be quote-unquote adhered to. I will be editing it as I see fit, seeing as I know my schedule now. For instance, I think I might be streaming a lot more on Friday, on Fridays or Mondays. I'm not sure which one I want to do more. I already have Worm penciled in for Wednesday, so we're going to keep it like that. But Mondays and Fridays, expect a stream to be happening more often in the afternoon. That would be 4 EST, 5 EST-ish on either of those days. I'm not sure, but keep an eye out. I got a lot of stuff happening. I just moved into my dorm. This is, my stream now that I'm here in my dorm. I did my last stream 3 days ago, and it worked. My frames are good. My internet's good. So, we're doing well. We're doing well so far. We're doing well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for announcements. Now on to the actual thing. What do you guys... do you guys like this arc? What's your opinion? Tell me about it. Because this arc is one of my favorites, I think, overall. Not even, like, in terms of... this chapter was meaty. Well, that's one way to describe it. In terms of, like, the earlier content, this is one of my favorite chapters, outright. The characterization, the dialogue, there's more mundane stuff, in comparison to the heavier stuff that's actually happening, like the action. But overall, amazing. Like, just so good. So good. Amazing character. We're going to talk about Bakuda in a little bit. Dear God. That is one of my favorite characters. We'll get into it. Brutus as well. Yes, Brutus as well. Before we start, I just want to get, like, a quick consensus. What did you guys enjoy about this arc specifically? And if the stream isn't synced up, I recommend, like, changing the resolution, or probably just refreshing the page, please. Because, I like my fast responses. I respond to chat all the time, so I kind of want this to be a back and forth kind of thing. So, get all situated. Get all comfy. I have my tea here. I did a funny thing where I poured my boiling water into my fucking cup, and then I forgot that I left my plastic spoon in there. So now my spoon is at a different angle than it was before. I think it was because I had honey on the spoon and it kind of bent it. Some kind of chemical reaction there. It's fine, though. It's still a spoon. It just has a little bit of a curve. So, I made some Earl Grey tea. It's okay. I think I made the tea... I didn't put enough water, so the tea is very, very, very strong. And it tastes like dirt. But that's, that's healthy and tasty. Mmm. You love the flavor. Anyway, did I oversteep it? No, I just, I didn't put enough water in. What I do is, I always steep for, like, 3 minutes tops, and I push it down with a spoon so that, like, I get all the juices out, and I get it all squishy. But it depends on how much water I put in, and how diluted it gets, because I have a big mug, and I didn't put a lot of water this time, because I wanted to see how it would be, and it's, it's pretty strong. But it's tea, so I'm not complaining. I got it from my mom. Thanks, Mom. Like strong tea, but yeah. It's. I was gonna get a black tea, but I decided on Earl Grey because why not? So I hope everyone can make it to this stream. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna get into the meat and bones of it. Sorry for streaming a little late. I hope that everyone can. Oh, I got a follow 17 minutes ago. Weird. I didn't see that notification. Well. So here's the deal. Here's the dealio here. We're gonna jump into Worm. Let me get this off the screen. Alright, welcome. It's Worm. So, where do we start here? First impressions, I mean, we open up and, we're at the meat and bones of Worm here. Earl Grey is a kind of black tea? Really? Oh, shit. Well, I might be stupid then. You finish your homework as fast as possible to be here? Well, thank you, Ghost. Well, we're gonna start right now. We're gonna talk about Worm. So, it opens up, and, literally within the first second, Taylor's immediately getting bullied. In the first sentence of this arc, Taylor's already getting bullied. Obviously, she's getting bullied by Emma. Not the quote-unquote leader of the trio of girls that's harassing her, but definitely the main contender for most asshole, because she used to be friends. But Taylor has a different reply this time. She isn't just, like, hiding and being like, oh. She's, like, standing up and, like, directly laughing at Emma this time. Like, being sarcastic and shit. And, like, like saying fuck you to her face. And Taylor, is, like, kind of regretting it. She's already like, oh, I'm gonna regret that. But she was like, you know what, fuck it. It's worth it. So Taylor deems that it's worth it to do this. And why? Because, yes, Undersider influence, she is feeling the best that she's ever felt in a long time. But yeah, that's the thing. She's already, like, she has to deal with having a conscience about, having a robbery take place and having to threaten hostages, it's normal teenager stuff. But Taylor, she's feeling great overall. She thinks about the bad stuff that she's doing, but overall, pretty good. Great. So she feels good in the short term about, clapping back at the bullies, because it's going to come back to bite her anyway. We'll get into that later, though, in the arc. We got some more information about the bullies, surprisingly. So Taylor always gets, like, Taylor's now getting breakfast, because Taylor just fucking left school. She said, fuck you, Emma. I'm leaving school. So now she's just gone, and she's gonna go hang out with Brian like she normally does. So she's hanging out with Brian, and normally they eat breakfast together, but now they're looking at the awesome and cool newspaper to see where their robbery was. It was on the third page of the newspaper, and the bank only reported $12,000 stolen. So the entire story pretty much focused on the amount of damage that happened. Specifically, the stuff that Glory Girl did, much like, throwing desks at people, busting in through ceilings and shit. Shit like that. Putting holes inside of a bank, So Undersiders did minimal damage during the bank robbery, but the superheroes fucked up, bro. They fucked up. So Taylor's happy about this. Taylor's so fucking... She is stoked that she is not being, like, there's no mention of her in this robbery, and this robbery is pretty much under just low-key robbery. Good job, Taylor. You feel good about a low-key robbery. So, good point in her book. Verbatim, good point in her book. So, great job, Taylor. Great job. So she's happy. She's happy that she went to school. She's going to school now. She's not just skipping out to go meet with the other side. She's actually going to school. She skipped today because, but at least she went is the thing. At least she's making an effort. So she's happy. She's pretty happy about it. So, she's not going to the loft this time to meet up with the Undersiders. She's meeting up with the Undersiders at the Lord Street Market. Now, the market is like a mall, but you rent stalls. So, I have a place near me in my state called Jockey Lot. And it's basically just like a giant thrift store, but you get to rent a bunch of, what's it called? Like boots. You just get to sell stuff. So it's a little bit like a touristy place. It's sort of like the boardwalk, sort of not. It's where Taylor says specifically, it's if you wanted to have a garage sale, you get you don't actually do a garage sale. You go get a stall at the market and you sell shit there, because that's where people are buying. And if you want to go shopping, it's just like a mall. So, that's where they're meeting up. And they're happy. Brian's there, Lisa's there, Alex there. But Rachel can't show up because she is well known enough that someone might notice her, and because her face is out there, she doesn't give a shit. And everyone kind of knows her name. So we get a little bit of information here. If you remember last arc, Armsmaster kind of threw off out of nowhere that the Undersiders had 2 murderers in them. And now Taylor's kind of like fiending over that. So Taylor sort of makes a comment like, "Oh, well, has has Rachel killed anyone? Haha, like she hasn't done that. And everyone's like, well, she's wanted for serial murderer. You know. So that answers that, really. So the circumstances of Rachel being a murderer, great job, Taylor. Is that whenever she got her powers, she grew an abusive dog, on accident, obviously, because she didn't know how to use her powers yet. And that dog went rabid because it's an abused dog and killed people, which makes sense. If she had a good lawyer, she'd get manslaughter at worst. But Rachel doesn't want to do that because Rachel doesn't give a fuck. So, you know. So Tattletale, Lisa over here, Lisa and Taylor, they go shopping. They go shopping for a bunch of stuff, that's really nice. I think that's really nice. I think that's really nice that they go shopping. And they make an offhand comment before they go shopping, is that they're gonna go drop off the money tonight to the boss. So they're gonna meet up with the boss to drop off money, apparently. Great. Taylor has this weird thing where she keeps talking about one of them being a murderer. I don't know why she keeps doing this. Taylor, you're obsessing over murderers being here. It's not true, Taylor. But Orange Master was just fucking with you, right? There's only one murderer, right? Hopefully. See, whenever I was first reading this, my immediate thought was that, like, oh, Orange Master was making a cheeky comment. There's probably one murderer in the Undersiders, and the other one's Taylor, because Taylor might have accidentally killed Lung. And I was like, that was my first impression. I went, holy shit, that's fucking bananas. But as we'll find out later in the chapter, Lung was, you know, he isn't dead, and he actually got broken out. So that's great. But I thought that Taylor had accidentally killed Lung, and that was the entire thing. I was so fucking worried. So Lisa and Taylor, they decide to go shopping. And, you know, as these things go, Lisa sort of talks about the kind of person that Taylor is. It kind of transitions from talking about Taylor's wardrobe, which is drab. I mean, she's wearing, like, just whatever the fuck she can find. It's pragmatic, you know? It's cautious. Where she just wears, like, whatever is easiest and doesn't have to, like, nothing that stands out because of the bullies and stuff, you know? So Lisa sort of talks about the kind of person that Taylor is. And the sort of thing that that Lisa brings up is that Taylor's very detail-oriented and focused. She watches something from the back, she interprets it, and then she acts specifically on something. And Lisa describes that as a strength and a flaw, which I totally agree with. Taylor definitely does have, like, you know, we are reading this from the perspective of of Taylor dictating her thoughts in a fashion, you know? But the way that she's observing everything that's happening, the way that she sees, like, things happening, she sort of just, like, sees it, thinks about it, and then acts on it. There's no, like, actions that she makes arbitrarily. She always considers things before she does them. So, you know, she can't really... You get what I mean, right? Like, she's sort of making these decisions, not, like, for a reason that doesn't really matter. She has to like think about it, and she doesn't even, like, acknowledge she's doing that. She just does it, and that kind of reflects the way that she presents herself, because she's like wearing muted colors, you know, just like the blue curtains in a room or some shit. You guys remember that? She's you know, she's overthinking, pretty much. She wants to make the call to be safe all the time. That's Taylor in a nutshell. She wants to be safe, and she wants to make the right decision, and she obsesses over that a lot. So Lisa sort of makes note of that, of course, because Lisa's very smart. Good job, Lisa. Good job. Taylor needs to know this shit. So they're shopping for clothes, and Lisa makes a sort of assumption about Taylor's home life. Because Lisa is so smart and very good at stuff, Lisa already knows sort of what's going on in Taylor's life because she just knows these things. She can guess passwords to banks and shit. She knows what the fuck is going on with Taylor. At first, Lisa thought that she was being abused by her father, but Lisa sort of switched gears after hearing Taylor bring up her father, so obviously it must have been school. And the other undersiders have kind of sort of talked about it and talked about like what Taylor's doing and how she's feeling. So Taylor sort of makes a note that she wants to keep, the two major parts of her life separate, which makes sense. Oh, Goofcat, thank you for hosting. I'm doing Worm. I don't know why you would host, but it's fine. So, I lost my train of thought. That scared me. A worm? Yeah, I'm doing a worm dissection. We're in the middle of a chapter right now, but it's fine. So Lisa's sort of talking about how like Taylor presents herself mostly, and also this is one of my favorite parts because it's done in the sense of like they're just shopping for clothes, but to an outside observer that's just what they're doing. But the way like the things that she's talking about, Lisa knows a lot more about Taylor than she's letting on, really. I think it's pretty good. And in the middle of this, Lisa's like making Taylor pick out clothes anyway. So the later on, after Taylor tries on a bunch of clothes because Lisa is just like this, Lisa decides to make a deal. Lisa's gonna buy all these clothes, sort of a bribe, really. Lisa's gonna buy a bunch of clothes to buy Taylor's silence, specifically in the realm of not letting any of the other undersiders know that she did not see Panacea at the bank, because that's sort of for someone that's super duper smart like Lisa over here to not see a superhero who doesn't have an identity, kind of dumb. So Lisa's like, hey, if they ask about it, you can tell them, but for now, don't mention it. And Taylor's like, okay. So, this is my favorite part right here. This is my favorite chapter, coming up right here. The transition is amazing. So, they buy a bunch of clothes, and they go to eat at Fugly Bob's. Fugly Bob's the burger place. They have a giant burger that if you finish it and eat it, you get it for free, and no one's ever gotten it for free because it's a giant burger. So, they eat food, they have a little bit of a chat, and Taylor... Yeah, I do want a burger from Fugly Bob's. That sounds so sloppy and delicious. And Taylor kills the mood immediately by asking, "Oh, yo, when people in power when people with powers get together, why don't we share our origin stories?" And everyone is just like staring into the camera like The Office. Lisa stopped smiling for once, so she fucked up. And Taylor's like, "What? What did I do?" So, little bit of a taboo here, Taylor, you fucking idiot. We get what is the explanation. We get a little explanation for powers here. We get a little explanation here. Well, how was Taylor supposed to know that? Well, I think this is a pitfall here. I don't think Taylor would have just brought this up out of nowhere. I think this is a little bit of like a writing pitfall here. I love Worm. I love Worm a lot. But this is one moment that I sort of look at and I go, I don't know if that's really what Taylor would do. How would Taylor, I feel like Taylor would have heard something about like a trigger event, right? Because that's what it is. I feel like Taylor would have known, or there would have been some sort of, I don't feel like Taylor would have just come out of the gate with this in any scenario. But, I think with a rewrite that would be better. A little bit better. Or like some kind of transition into that. But just saying, no, they didn't make it up on the spot. No. I'm just saying that it was sort of, I think it was a little bit ham-fisted. A little bit. I think I'm allowed to criticize my favorite book here. In this one part of this one chapter. I love this chapter. This chapter is amazing. I just think the premise is a little strange because, Taylor is described as someone who's highly intelligent. She knows a lot about, the capes around. She goes on, the parahuman forums. So you would think that she would at least hear about it or, know not to mention it. But or she and then immediately after she says that, Alec immediately like refutes that and is like, "Were you having the best day of your life when you got your powers?" And Taylor's like, "No." So well, there is a thing with that. Yeah, that's the thing, Cherryberg. Taylor didn't know because Brian says later that it's one of the things you only really hear about from like other capes, or if you like took a university class in parahuman studies. So I think it's a little ham-fisted, but I'm not one to say, okay? I'm not one to say. I think it's fine the way it is, but if it was a little different, I would like it a little more, okay? That's all. So we get the explanation for powers here. Trigger events. So we get an explanation for why powers are like this in this world. So it's described as this: 1 to 5 people out of any 5 people, 1 of them have the potential for powers. And that specific person has to be pushed to their limit in some way to get that power. That's why there's more villains in, more like in third world countries. That's why the powers are like super high, because the conditions there are bad. So it would make sense that there would be more people with powers there if you're in a bad situation. So you kind of understand why this is like this? That's kind of why the world is the way it is. Because if something goes bad, someone gets powers as a response. So do you think it's going well? No. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the thing about people, like Cape families specifically. They make note of this. People in Cape families, like if a parent has a power and has a child, that child has the potential to have a power, but they don't need nearly as intense an event. Like for instance, Glory Girl, her parents have powers, and she just got like benched at a basketball game. And she got fouled. So like that was her worst moment. that was comparable to what Taylor's about to describe her trigger event as. So you could see why it's a little rude for Glory Girl to be this bitch. Glory Girl, shut up. So that explains why villains outnumber the heroes 2 to 1, pretty much. Yeah. So, Taylor is now going to talk about her trigger event. Taylor had something bad happen to her. This is the incident that we've been hearing about a lot. I mentioned last stream that people keep talking, Taylor keeps mentioning January, or her dad will mention what happened in January. This is what happened in January. And if you don't know, 2 weeks before Christmas break, at her high school, the bullies just stopped. They just pretty much stopped. They didn't do anything. There were no more hate mail, no more throwing juice at people. That was it. And that was it. And it was just quiet. And even one of a friend of the bullies was sort of becoming her friend and wanted to hang out and stuff. So Taylor was like, all right, okay. And she was still waiting for the other shoe to drop. And she was able to relax. So Taylor comes back from winter break and she finds a locker filled with sanitary items that have been used. Specifically, women's products. You can guess. Used, and they locked her inside of it, and no one let her out. Yeah. So that's how she got her powers. That sounds awful. So she got put into the hospital because not only of her slop injuries, but also because of her mental state. Specifically, when she got her powers, imagine you are in a locker filled with gross, toxic waste at that point. And all of a sudden, you are now able to see an entirely new sense. And that sense is everything bugs are hearing, everything bugs are seeing, and thousands of them. Thousands. And she didn't know how to turn it off. So she sort of had a moment there. Sort of had a moment there. And that was that. Her dad got money from the school to keep hush about it, and that was it. And Taylor just went on with that power. And everyone sort of has, like, sympathy about it. And Alec immediately is like, well, why don't you just use your fucking powers on them? Why don't you just retaliate? And I mentioned this way back in Arc 1. Taylor says it herself. She's not going to use her power on them. Because any kind of, like, subtle way, you know, like giving them lice or anything like that. So Taylor makes an example of saying, like, remember when bitch went at me? It's the same with these guys. So, like, if they get crabs or something, they're going to get miserable, they're going to get annoyed, and they're going to take it out on Taylor. Even if they don't tie it back to her. And they may tie it back to her in the first place. So, she's not going to risk that. And that makes perfect sense here. That makes perfect sense, Taylor. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So Taylor immediately is like, everyone's like, well, you go to someone for help. Alex like, go get. All the undersiders like, well, just get some help. You know, like go talk to someone, or go talk to someone. Like, get some help from the school system. And Taylor immediately is like, I have tried that shit. They don't give a shit. The court case didn't fucking work. And I don't trust the system. So, yeah. Also, I want to let you know that just trust the system. Yeah. Here's the thing. They're not saying that. Lisa and Alec are immediately like, well, what if we just, like, tie them up and then, like, drop them off in the middle of the woods with no clothes? Like, what? That would be funny. And Taylor's like, I don't want to do that to them because that would just be awful for them. And they're like, well, they put you in a locker. And Taylor's like, yeah, and they're gonna get assaulted by some strange truck driver or some shit. And they're like, well, okay. And Taylor doesn't believe in the whole eye for an eye thing. Taylor says, I don't really believe in that whole eye for an eye business. And Alec immediately bites back and is like, why the fuck are you a supervillain? And Taylor doesn't even... Taylor... She does not hesitate. She's asked the question, why are you a supervillain? And Taylor responds immediately with one word, escape. Like, like, Taylor's like, well, I can deal with real life if I can kick ass, I can make a name, I can hang out with friends, And so Taylor. Oh, Taylor. So, Taylor shared her little story, and so Alex is like, nope. And Lisa's like, I'm not doing that until I can drink, and I'm not going to be able to drink. At least she's self-aware. Now, Worm but the Taylor is self-aware. It'd be over by the first week. So Lisa's like, well, I would tell you if I could drink, but I'm not going to be drinking for the next couple of years, so, no. So, we get to learn how Brian got his powers. So now, we have Taylor's perspective of getting powers, which sounds awful. And now Brian is going to explain his. This one might be a little fucked. Because, you got school bullies in an insane situation, but then you got, like, domestic abuse here, which is these are bad situations here. These are bad situations. Not good. So Brian, the background is he was separated from his sister at a young age. They're a couple years apart. So Brian went with his father, and Aisha, his sister, went with his mom, and they had like a sort of like an age difference. and he just randomly gets a text from Aisha that's like, and just says, "Help me." So he goes all the way to his mom's house and beats the shit out of his mom's boyfriend nearly to death. So that's a thing that happened, and saved Aisha. So that was his thing. And Brian knew how to fight. Brian knows how to fight. So he fights, and then he's washing his knuckles because obviously he just beat the shit out of someone, and he's like, "Whoa, what's this little darkness coming from my fingers?" And so like he makes a comment, and he's like, you hear about trigger events, you might think it's all about rage or fear. I didn't feel a fucking thing. And Taylor's like, wow. So yeah. And then Brian explains the reason why he's doing this now is because he's in this for his sister. He needs money to get custody of Aisha, and that's why he's in the Undersiders. So that's why he has this sort of lucrative form of employment here. So
Yeah.
So later on, after they're done talking about that, Brian makes a comment, and he's like, "Oh, yo, Taylor, I want to do like a redesign on my costume. Do you know where I can go to get costumes?" And Taylor's like, "Huh? What?" And it's because Brian's like, "What the fuck? Well, where'd you get your costume?" And Taylor's like, "I fucking made it." So now Taylor is now being offered by everyone to make spider silk costumes because it's stronger than Kevlar. Great job, Taylor. And she's getting paid to make those. So she might make them for money. She might. So they go back to the loft. They're chilling. They're looking for Rachel because I think she went out for a walk or something, and she gets a little gift from Brian. She gets a little gift. It's a dragonfly in amber. Isn't that sweet? Thank you, Brian. You're a very nice friend. And they hug. Isn't that nice? They get a hug. And then Ghost, do not say that in my fucking chat. I'll get you. No, you're not getting a fursuit. So she gets a present from Brian, very nice, and Brian's like, well, Rachel's phone isn't on, it's out of service, and Rachel barely knows how to use a phone, so something is wrong. And Brian's like, well, I think we need to check on the money as soon as possible. So it was nice and happy-go-lucky. Until Rachel went missing. So they were gonna do this earlier tonight anyway, to go drop off the money. Well, they had the money here, and they're gonna bring it to the boss, obviously. But now Rachel's missing, and they need to check on the money immediately. So they leave the loft. They get all suited up and stuff. They go near to the train yard, which is next to the docks. The train yard is the part of the docks that's sat like opposite to the boardwalk. I might show a map later, or like a map of Rockton Bay, because it's somewhere like on the Massachusetts, New Hampshire area, somewhere between there, like Maine-ish. Would you stop talking about furries in my chat? I'm gonna get you. Shut the fuck up. So they go to the storage facility next to the train yard, and Taylor sort of explains the history of the storage facility. It used to be really cheap housing back when the economy was getting really bad, and because of like a bunch of sicknesses that went through, everyone sort of left and was like, fuck that, we're just gonna go squat in abandoned warehouses and shit. So now they're pretty much derelict. So they check on the locker where it is, and the money is gone. So everyone is like, well, bitch stole the money. Bitch stole the money. Bitch stole the money. Fuck. And Tattletale immediately is like, well, it wasn't her. There's no way it was her. That's stupid because Tattletale's smart. Lisa over here is smart. She's like, well, no one forced the lock. Someone picked the lock. The villain did this, more than one of them, and they're still here. And so they turn around, and oh, dear fucking god. Here we go. We have thing 1 and thing 2 over here. Uber and Leet are here in fucking Bomberman costumes. Say hi to them. Hi Uber and Leet. So if you don't know about Uber and Leet, Uber Eats, they are gamer streamers. And they're streaming right now, actually, on like an hour delay, because obviously you wouldn't want the cops to come where you are. Taylor doesn't like them at all, because as Taylor explains, their entire shtick is a video game theme. So with every escapade they do, they pick a different video game or a different series, and they design their costumes and their crimes. So one day, it would be Leet in a Mario costume, breaking into a mint to collect coins. And then a week later, they would have a Grand Theft Auto theme where they would beat up hookers. So these people aren't good people. They're despicable Redditors, okay? I don't like them. The stream is probably going to get sick for a while because Twitch is just like that today. So sorry if it's a little bit whack. Do let me know if it's like fucked though. If it's like absolutely like smackered fucked, let me know. Yeah, Uber and Leet are trying to hack into my systems right now. So basically they're assholes because they suck. They suck. They're not funny, they're not unique, they're not creative, they suck. And Lisa makes a point of that. They're like, you guys fucking suck. you guys suck. So they do awful shit as gamers, and so the Undersiders make a plan to knock them unconscious, and Taylor is excited to do so. She smiles as she fights these fucking people. So Uber and Leet, they're not just gamers, they have powers, obviously. So Uber's power is he is talented at anything. So it can be kung fu, the harmonica, tap dancing. If he wants to get good at something, he can put the effort into it and be master class. So an amazing power if he wasn't a shit gamer. And Leet's power, I need everyone to pause for a moment. I need everyone to pause and listen to what Leet's power is. Leet's power is that he can create anything once. And if he makes anything similar to what he has made before, it has a higher likelihood of wanting to kill him or blowing himself up. I need to understand, he can build anything one time. A gun, one time. A cannon, one time. But that's close to a gun, so it might malfunction. So, that's amazing powers, really. If they weren't shitheads, they'd be really good at it. But everyone thinks they're lame and dumb. And Lisa talks about this for a second. She's like, well, it's no one fucking watches your show because you're cool. Everyone watches your show because you're fucking lame and dumb. So, they do have weapons here because they're dressed up in Bomberman costumes. They have fake hologram bombs. And everyone's clowning them pretty much this entire fight. They're pretty, it's a 4-on-2. I mean, they're gonna get fucked. It's a 4-on-2. They're so fucked. So, they get knocked out pretty easily. They're just fucked. And in the middle of Taylor choking out Leet, Gru is like, oh yo, let me give you a tutorial on how to choke out someone. You gotta press on the side of the neck to hit the artery, and then they'll pass out. so in the middle of choking Leet, Gru is like, this is how you do it. There you go. And then they knock him out. So that's how wimpy these guys are, because they're fucking idiots. So if you thought that was it for the Bomberman series, boy, do I have a surprise for you. Bakuda is here. If you don't remember Bakuda, she is the newest powered lady of the ABB that Armsmaster was talking about, and she can make bombs. She has a specialization in making bombs. Bombs. Bomberman. Is it making sense? Do you get it? do you get it? So, Bakuda is very mad that they took down Lung. A bunch of ABB members come out of all the garages and are like, alright, you're gonna get fucked up. So, welcome. This is the part where they need to run, because you need to run, Undersiders. Here you go, Undersiders, start running. So, we'll get to the interlude in the middle of this later. We're gonna do the interlude way later. They start running. They get onto the roof. There's holograms with bombs. They are not non-lethal bombs. For instance, one of them is a miniature black hole that almost sucks Taylor in if she wasn't close enough. There is a bomb that literally slows down time, and they were in the blast radius and almost got caught in it. So that's fucked. That's fucked. So Taylor makes a note that these are not just regular gang goons. These aren't just like some gangsters. These are like old people with hunting rifles and 12-year-olds with knives. And they are... And Lisa makes a point that these people are not here on their own will. They are scared into loyalty. So, it is very apparent that they are outclassed right now. They have to backtrack to get away from bombs. Bakuda has a jeep and a rocket launcher and a grenade launcher to fucking bomb these goddamn idiots. So, they get surrounded nearly immediately by gang members and Bakuda. So here's the part where Bakuda does her villain speech. And because she's this pretentious, she does a big villain speech. She could have gotten them from the start, but she wanted to play cat and mouse with these people. So, Bakuda immediately, being smart, decides to hold a gun to Tattletale's head because she knows Tattletale loves to talk, and says if Tattletale opens her mouth, someone shoot her. So already, Lisa's out of commission, alright? Because Bakuda is smart. Bakuda is knowledgeable. She's a super genius, according to her words. The fallen home with red goggles. Actually, she's dressed up as Bomberman. She also has a Bomberman costume on, but her goggles are red. She has red goggles on. So she's dressed up just like Uber and Lead. You know. So, I want you to picture that one. Bakuda goes on a big speech. She talks about intimidation tactics, and what Lung taught her, about being an effective leader. And what's effective? Fear. Fear is effective. Fear is very, very, very effective. Enough fear, and they stop worrying about their own interests. They stop wondering if they can usurp you. They dedicate themselves to making her happy. Or at least keep her from being unhappy, of course. But, she talks a lot about this. She grabs one of her random gang members by the name of Park Ji-hoo, gives him a gun and asks him to shoot one of the Undersiders. And he drops the gun and can't do it. He can't do it. He says, no, I can't do this. Bakuda fucking kills him. Bakuda fucking kills him. Park Ji-hoo is the first death in Worm. Just immediately dead. Snuffed out. Immediately. Immediately dies. Bakuda is not here to fuck around. Okay? This guy is slop on the floor. Dead serious. So her bombs don't just explode here. We already have a black hole bomb. We already have a motherfucking time stop bomb. And now we have a bomb that melts people here. So, where did this bomb come from? Oh, you know. she laughs. So Park Ji-hoo laughs. She laughs about Park Ji-hoo being dead on the floor. And she's just laughing. She's laughing about it. She's just laughing about it. And Regent immediately is like, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Wow. And Regent is trying to you know, think 12 steps ahead here and be smart. However, no. Bakuta's like, fuck you. You can't be fucking cool.
You're laughing. You're laughing. Park Ji-hoo is soup on the ground and you're laughing.
Ugh. So, Regent is being a fucker here. And it almost worked. Bakuta makes a point and says that everyone here has a bomb inside of them. Everyone here has a bomb inside of them. Even the most loyal of her people. She blows up her own people in 2 seconds and just laughs. She just laughs. She's fucking crazy. She says she's inherited the position as the leader of the ABB, and she doesn't give a shit. And everyone fucking runs. Alright? Even all of her people, they fucking run, because now she's just blowing up people for fun now. She didn't give a shit. And immediately we notice that Regent uses power too much, and it backfired. It backfired on Regent, and now his arm is cramping up because he can't use his power too much, and he can't move it. And we see a rare moment of Alec being like actually pissed because now he's like in pain. He's not just like laid back and you know, chilling. Enough with the fucking Park Ji-hoo. You guys are fucked up. A guy just died. Someone just died in Worm, and Taylor doesn't even give a shit, and you guys are just laughing. You're laughing. So immediately Lisa is like, well, she's lying. She's not the leader of the ABB. Something's fucked. So, Bakuta uses an ice bomb and like traps it inside another bomb, and she's like just going fucking bananas. And Lisa is using one of her educated guesses because she's a smart girl, and she says that Bakuta's not blowing up people with her brain. She's using toe rings. She's using toe rings. She twists her toes together and blows people up. So she has megalomania. She was never #1 in school, so she's very fucking mad. She's very mad. She's very mad. So Gru here, shut the fuck up. Gru here does a big thing. I said megalomania, you fucking assholes. I swear I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna get you. People suck. I'm talking about Worm. I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. I hate you guys. I hate you guys. You guys are so mean to me. I'm trying to talk about Worm, and I say a real word in the real world, and you guys are so mean. What am I? Oh, YouTube is down. Apparently YouTube's down for some reason. No, that was like an hour ago. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna get water because you guys are being mean to me, and my throat hurts because I drank too much tea. I'm gonna drink some water, okay? Get it all out of your system. Go do the dee-dee-dee-dee. All right.
Oh.
All right, sorry. That's enough of that. Okay, so Gru decides to hold off the Jeep that Bakuta is driving in. And Gru is obviously doing a bluff. He isn't going to get hit by a Jeep. Well, he is going to get hit by a Jeep, but Alec uses his powers and goes, well, you owe me for this one, and fucking whips the guy. Whips the guy driving, and Alec passes out immediately because he uses power too much, and he just fucking... it's like, yeah, he does the sick whip and fucking he just passes out. Lisa describes it as throwing a punch with a broken hand, which makes sense. So Gru's okay. Gru's just fine. Everything's fine. So like, okay, cool, we'll just restrain her. And then a bomb goes off. A bomb goes off. All it had taken was one good shot. And now, because you turned your fucking eyes on the body, why would you do that? Why would you do that? They all look away from Bakuda, and Bakuda is immediately just fucking taunting. Bakuda's like, you guys are fucking stupid. You guys thought you could get a fucking upper hand on me? Haha. No, you didn't. So this is the scariest Bakuda's ever been. She's mad now. She's very mad now. And in fact, she knows that Taylor, this bug girl over here, is the one that got Lung put into prison. So now she's going to fuck everyone up, starting with Brian. So she gets to watch as everyone gets bombs put inside of them. Isn't that great? Taylor is fucking delirious right now. Delirious in pain right now. Bakuda talks about the fucked up bomb she's made. Specifically, the bomb that she's putting into Brian's nose cavity right now. His nasal cavity. She does a lot of research here. She's very smart. Purely by accident, she cracked the Manson effect. We talked about the Manson effect earlier, right? We spoke about it. She just cracked that with one of her bombs. And that's the one she's putting inside of Brian. So it bypasses the Manson effect. Specifically, it goes off. It doesn't kill the person that it goes off in. It simply warps space around them, keeps them alive, but leaves them in a lot of pain. Fucked up shit here. We're talking Cronenberg body horror shit here. Disgustingly awful. She's an asshole. So Taylor here is flopping around like a fish on the ground and is trying to do something and trying to get her knife out to do something. So Taylor does something here. Taylor brings her knife down on her boot. And what Taylor does here is cuts off her fucking toes. She put the knife into the pavement. She swung the knife down so hard that it is a half an inch in the pavement. That's what she hit. She didn't hit armor. She hit the pavement. So she gives the knife to Gru and promptly passes the fuck out. So, you know, usual. So Taylor here is definitely not having a good moment. So yeah. There you go, Taylor. Good job. You did it. You stopped it, Taylor. Taylor wakes up in some kind of doctor area. She is full of drugs, and Lisa is there too, and is arguing with the doctor about stuff. Taylor calls away all of her bugs because before she got passed out, before Taylor passed out, she made the final command to call all the bugs to her. So now, since she's been asleep and knocked out, she's been doing that subconsciously as she's been knocked out. Seriously, that's what Taylor's been doing. What the fuck, Taylor? That is scary as hell. You're saying that if you say, okay, bugs, go attack, and then you pass out or you go to sleep, are you just saying that your bugs will keep attacking, Taylor? And apparently your bug radius is like a couple blocks, Taylor? That's scary as fuck, Taylor. So Lisa's having an argument about Taylor earlier on, and is talking about this older doctor person here is talking about how she could possibly have brain damage. And Lisa's like, well, no, she doesn't. I would know if she would have brain damage, okay? No, she doesn't. That's not true. So Taylor just goes back to sleep after she calls the bugs away. And Before she does that, though, Taylor has a very small moment where she can hear through her bugs, actually. She can, she hears music coming from someone's headphones way far away that she wasn't be able to hear. She can hear through her bugs for a moment. Very, very, very cool, Taylor. Very cool. So Taylor wakes up again, way later on. She's being brought home by Lisa and Brian. And they bring her home straight to her dad. And they make a cover story about them being in the area when the bombs went off. She's concussed, she's bruised, and Lisa is like, well, here's the recap. The bomb went off, you have a concussion, you're going to be brutally honest, you're going to have mood swings, you're going to read very bad social cues for the rest of, a little while. Which sounds like brain damage to me. A little bit of brain damage to me. Just a little bit. So here's Lisa's story. Before Taylor passed out. They got hit with a pain bomb, which probably would have set Taylor on fire because she got hit directly with the bomb. She got hit with a pain bomb that fucked up all of her nerves. Bakuda glued the rest of them down. Taylor cut off 2 toes. And as Lisa was helping Brian, Bakuda got away. So Bakuda got away. And the Undersiders were able to get out and get Taylor to safety. However, 2.5 toes. It's toes. It's toes, man. I'm not here for toe semantics, okay? It's a couple of toes. She cut off some toes, okay? So here's what Bakuda's been doing while Taylor's been passed out. Bakuda is rightfully angry. Bakuda's very angry, okay? So here's what Bakuda starts doing. Bakuda is now bombing the entire city. Transformers, trains, schools, bridges, everything and anything, just to get Lung out from the Protectorate headquarters. Just to break Lung out of jail. And every hour another bomb goes off. It could be anywhere. Warehouses, shops, anywhere. The city is being blown up. Taylor is injured. And Taylor, surprisingly, is happy. Taylor's not worried about not being able to go to school because she has a concussion. Taylor's not worried about the bombing runs going off in the city. Taylor is simply happy. As long as she can stay there with her friends. What the fuck, Taylor? Holy shit. Dear God, Taylor, dear God. So, we get to the final interlude. We'll get to the other interlude that happened in the middle of the chapter later. We get to the final interlude. I'm not gonna talk about this one because so if you don't know, Ghost Egg in the chat, I've been reading Worm to them for a while now. We kind of stopped because I've been doing this instead, where I can actually have it here on my Twitch channel. And I refuse to read this one. I refuse to read this one out loud. No, I'm not reading this out loud. And I was like, you can read it yourself. I'm not doing this shit. So, this is from the perspective of Brutus, Rachel's dog. And basically Rachel breaks up a dog fighting ring and saves a bunch of dogs that have been in cages and stuff. That's it. That's the entire arc. That's the entire interlude, I mean. I'm not reading it. I'm not reading it out loud. No way. So yeah, that's that interlude. And we'll see more of that later in Arc 5. But for now, we need to talk about Interlude 3.5. Interlude 3.5 is an apology here. Because Wildbow, the person who wrote this, accidentally posted this interlude way earlier than before and was not meant to do that. So this interlude was just included just for free. It was supposed to be interlude 3s, but they didn't post it correctly. So, this interlude, This was the number one most contested thing, because it's about Nazis. Interlude 3.5, as it's so-called titled, is from the perspective of Caden Anders. And the chapter opens up, and she is and she's taking care of her child. She loves her child Aster. Aster is her favorite. She also has a son, Theo, 15 years old. Caden Anders is a superhero. Superhero is not the right term. Caden Anders is Purity. Her superhero name is Purity. Can you guess? Yeah. So she has a costume. Yeah, it was supposed out of order, so this one was like an apology one. Caden Anders is since a year ago, she's made the ABB a priority target. That has been her number one target this entire time. And she has been fighting Lung. She's been fighting pretty much. She would love to clean up the ABB now that Lung has been apprehended. And she makes the point that the ABB is getting stronger. It's getting very, very, very stronger. And she's pretty mad. She's pretty mad. This is the part where Caden Anders is meeting up with a man named Max. They are divorced. They are divorced. And they're having this sort of power play thing here. They're having this sort of power play thing. Max fucking sucks. Max sucks. And Caden Anders, also known as Purity, and Max here, also known as Kaiser, the leader of the Empire 88, the Nazi gang, they've been married and split for at least 2 years. Because Caden was like, fuck this shit, I don't like you, I'm gonna go off and do my own thing. So here's the thing. You would think that Caden's doing this, you know, like from the first thing, just from me telling you that, you would think that Caden's like, oh, Caden doesn't want to be racist anymore. She doesn't want to be like this white supremacist asshole. No, Caden just is still racist, but doesn't want to do it through, like, you know, giving drugs to people or like gang banging. So you know, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. God damn. I mean, it's fucked. It really is. It really, really is. Give me a moment for a second. Just give me a moment. Alright, we're good. Never mind. You like to 1v1 this bitch? Yeah. So Caden gets swayed by Max's ulterior motives and gets indoctrinated again into Empire 88 so that she can attack the ABB effectively. I heartily dislike both of them. Some stories you like the bad guy. I can't stomach the good person here. Oh. They both suck. They do. But I think that it's important, you know. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's totally okay to be like, man, these fucking Nazis suck, and we shouldn't hear them out. No, they definitely suck. They 100% suck. They're definitely the worst people here. But they're written in such a convincing way that they are hateable. Not only for what they stand for, but their ideology is so perfectly written that you hate them for that reason, that they are so notably assholes. They suck. They totally suck. So, white supremacy. Am I right? So, yeah. And I do have some words here from Wildbow. I'm just going to summarize what he said. But basically, Nazis sort of have this habit of being the bad guys. Because Nazis are very, very, very easy to just, like, they're just plain evil. That's just what they are. Beating up or killing a Nazi is pretty much guiltyless. Like, you can. So with Empire 88 being a collection of racist supervillains, it would be very easy for them to fall into the traps of being two-dimensional throwaways, obviously, because they're just Nazis. So Wildbow wants to take the time to, before they were introduced, to establish them as people with backgrounds, with families or other motivations, and just other stuff to be alluded to in the story, like what Caden's doing and stuff like that. So, not to justify them. They're not being justified here because she has children, or because she's in a bad position, or because her ideals are bad. It's because they're really well-written characters. It's just that they're really well-written Nazis. So, yeah. So yeah. You still see them as 2D throwaways? Always they're horrible, not even very interesting? Well, no. I later on we'll get to see more of the Empire 88 and their people. And obviously I totally understand seeing them as just like fucking Nazis, because that's what they are. They suck. They totally suck. I just think that it's nice to, they're still well written. I mean, this could have just been like a stereotypical, like, yes, we're going to kill the Asians, but it's like, it's shown through the lens of like a familial, like a family drama, which you wouldn't expect that from white supremacists getting back together. It's not like a, yeah, no. The way that Purity talked about the ABB, yeah. It's very obviously, like, she has prejudice against people that are not white. It's very, very, very obvious, and it fucking sucks. But they are well-written racist, I will say. They're very... I hate them, and for good reason, because they are very believable racists. They aren't just like, black people, yuck! Like, they fucking suck, and, there's a lot of internalized, idiotic shit here that they're doing. So, it's well-written racism. It's still racism. So, I get the immediate yuck factor. 100%. 100% get it. It's okay. It's totally okay. So, yeah, that's Worm. That's Worm, baby. That's Worm. We did it. You want Worm animated TV show? I don't think it would translate very well, I will say. Sorry. So yeah, that's Worm. That is Worm. There you go. That is Arc 4 of Worm, all down pat. Now I'm going to transition into the fun part. Yeah. See, Max sucks because he's a manipulative bastard. It's not that he's racist and he's like this gang leader, because that's what he is. But he fucking sucks because he's like manipulating his fucking ex-wife into joining his gang. Which fucking sucks. If he wasn't racist, he would still suck. So, that's how the grass grows. So, yeah. So yeah, how did you guys say? What's your favorite part? What was your favorite part about this? Was it the the explanation of powers. Was it Bakuda? What did you like the most about it? What was your favorite part? For me, it was definitely like them just talking at Fugly Bob's. It's just like their dialogue was good. The way that it explains powers is good, and we'll get more into that later too. So it's like really good. I loved it. The chill hangout times with Bakuda having a fun ass time being a showboating villain was very good. Yeah, see that's the thing about Bakuda. She's presented as like this. Here's my dastardly plan, ahaha. But like, she may not be very quote unquote complicated, but the fact that she's insane in a world where I talked about this earlier. The fact that she's totally insane at this part, and just like completely in her own head. Just a fucking Vriska over here, okay? She's just laughing at people dying and shit. And coming from like a story in which Taylor's very realistic, it's very realistic problems, the world feels actually fleshed out and real, she's fucking terrifying. Way more than like your schlocky fucking, what is it? Your fucking Scooby-Doo villain over here. She's a Scooby-Doo villain in real life. That's terrifying. Yeah, Uber and Leeds like comedic fight is great. Like they are pretty fucking clowns. They do beat up sex workers though, so I don't think that they're very good people. They are clowns, but it goes to show that even if you have powers, you can still be a fucking idiot. You could still be a motherfucking idiot, and that's how it goes. That's the way the wind blows. We will be seeing more of them soon. Not soon, I would say, but definitely we'll be seeing more of them. Trust me. So yeah. What are you guys looking forward to? So we kind of left the chapter off on a sort of a high note, surprisingly. Taylor's like happy with what's going on. She's happy with the friends that she has. She sort of, even though like the city's being bombed, she's sort of like, well, this is good. I feel better. I feel better about my situation. She's happy she's still going to school. She's happy that she can talk to her friends. So what are you looking forward to? You know? What are you looking forward to? What kind of impact Taylor's probable brain damage has? See, that's the thing, because Taylor's always been seen as this like cold and calculating person, but she sort of has that element of emotion. But Tattletale specifically says that she's going to be she's going to be brutally honest. She's going to have mood swings, and she's not going to read social cues well, which sucks. So I really love to see how that played out. In regards to the next chapter, I'll give you guys some heads up, and you guys can translate this into my Discord channel about it if you'd like to. There is going to be some there's some more bullying stuff. This is the peak of, like, if you've ever had a school situation, this is where the bullying stuff comes to a head. If you ever had like a bullying situation where you had to like do some serious like meeting shit, I sincerely recommend that that you go into this. You skip chapter 4 of next arc. Chapter 4 next arc. I definitely recommend that you sort of steer away from that one if you can't handle it, because it's done very well. Taylor and Brian are becoming a thing, aren't they? Brian's like 18 and Taylor's like 15. But you know, they are friends, and people keep, you know, Lisa and Alec keep making jokes about like not being romantic when they just hugged. So it's some clown ass shit. Straight people be like, it's fine. So yeah, I do recommend. There's going to be a little bit more body horror in the next arc. A little bit more. Nothing as crazy as, like, the Bakuda stuff, like, with Park Ji-hoo. If you could handle Park Ji-hoo, you'll be fine. It's fine. But they do have... Oh, I can't wait for Arc 5, actually. Arc 5 is going to be great. Oh, the interlude for Arc 5. Okay, now I'm excited now. So it's only 10 chapters and the interlude. So that's 11. I would skip chapter 4 if you don't like bullying stuff, especially like stuff that would be representative of like a meeting or some kind, because there might be some whack shit. So
Please be patient.
so yeah, that's, you know, that's Worm, baby. That's Worm. So yeah, let me throw this up. All right, we're good now. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying Worm. This is where the stuff is. Like, if you have, I mean, like, I know I have some people in here that are just listening, and not actually reading, which is totally fine. You can totally do that. I highly recommend you read yourself, and then you come in here with like some questions or some like topics you want to like mention, or just stuff like that, or like character moments you liked, because it helps me as the streamer and as the person who's like talking about it to be like, well, hey, you like this part, let's talk some more about it. Or, oh, hey, let's dissect this part that you're like confused about, and stuff like that. I'm like an English teacher over here, so I want to help you guys enjoy this story to the most. And so we're not even like a fifth of the way through. So we're not even a sixth, actually. So yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys are enjoying. And if you guys have any further questions, shoot them at me or save them for next time if you guys are going to read the 5th arc. Okay, cool. Is everyone cool with that? All right, cool. All right, okay. So yeah, recommend it to your friends if you like. Get everyone else to read it. We're early in the book, so if you want to recommend it to some friends, now is the time. Because we're going to keep on trucking every Wednesday. So I recommend getting on the gravy train as soon as possible. So, all right, yeah. My schedule, I'm going to mention again. I might have some more streams 4 p.m. EST on Mondays and Fridays. It depends. I'm not sure yet. Just a preliminary announcement. And then this Friday is something special. I'll let you know about that. I'm going to be on someone else's stream. Saturday is going to be a fishing stream. And then what else? Sunday is also going to be a special stream with a guest. I'll have a special stream, so look forward to that. Yes, next Wednesday is not going to be Worm. We'll either move that to Thursday or we'll do it no, actually we'll do it Thursday. We'll do it Thursday, because on September 1st, there's going to be a Twitch strike, so no watching streams and no streaming. So I would really recommend you guys participate in that, because it's, you know, it's helpful because of all the hate raids going on right now. In fact, I almost got a hate raid here. Thank you. Shoutouts to Lynn for banning some people who were actually going to hate raid in the middle of this. I didn't say anything about it because I just wanted to skip over it, but thank you, Lynn, so much. Because I saw that in the chat and I had a mini freak out, but I kept talking about Worm anyway. So thank you. Yeah. So what was he saying? Oh yeah, September 1st. Yeah. So Worm, we might move to. I'm pretty sure we're gonna move that to that Thursday. Because on Tuesday we're gonna have the final closing day. We're gonna have the closing day of my fishing stream server. So tune into that as well. I'll put this all announcements as well, just so you guys don't forget. So thank you guys. Thank you to Goofcat for hosting this stream. Thank you for watching as well. I really do appreciate it. You know, I'm sorry if you came in and you didn't know anything about this. Sorry. But you know, I'm having fun and I'm talking about my favorite book. Don't throw people in my chat, Lynn. God damn it. Thank you to Lynn for showing up, even though you don't actually read Worm. I asked you to come and you came, so thank you. Yeah, it was nice to listen to. Yeah, thank you. This is like sort of the first time I've ever done this, ever, and I really recommend you read it. That's to anyone who's watching and doesn't know anything about this. I really, really, really recommend you read it, just so you can get the full experience, because me talking about it isn't the full experience, really. I really, really, really recommend it. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. you know, this is something I look forward to every week because it feels like I really, really, really enjoy talking about this. This is something that I love talking about, and it's one of my favorite things. So for everyone to like be genuinely interested and genuinely like the characters and genuinely want to read more and read further beyond, it's something that like it blows my mind. Like this is like a dream come true for me. So thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying stuff that I like. Thank you for reading my favorite book. We have a bunch more Wednesdays, Worm Wednesdays to go. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll be in the next month. And then we won't even be like on arc 11 by then. So it's a long road ahead of us. But as long as you guys keep enjoying, I'm gonna keep streaming. All right, cool. Now we're gonna raid someone because we like to raid here. We like to raid, and of course we're gonna raid with the number one thing. Every single time we do a raid here during our Worm Wednesday stream, we're gonna say our favorite thing, and that's read worm. You gotta say read worm, okay? Read worm. Look forward next week. Sometime next week, I'm going to be having a new emote. Look forward to the new emote. Okay? Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna raid someone. We're gonna raid Ferris. So go say read worm. All right, cool. Make sure to say read worm to Ferris, and hopefully we'll get someone. We'll manipulate people. All right, cool. Thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna throw you guys to the end screen. Wow.